What's up, guys? Welcome to this podcast episode we're going to be doing with Gray McDowell. And today we're going to be diving into some spiritual matters, Gray's journey with a spiritual awakening, but most importantly, we're going to be looking into numerology and how numerology and astrology is beneficial and useful to use. And I genuinely think that you'll be blown away with some of the things we're going to talk about. So definitely stay tuned for that. But yes, pleasure to have you on. How you doing, brother?
Thanks for having me on, brother. I'm doing very good, and I'm stoked for our conversation because numerology is one of those things that most people have never heard of, but once they understand it, it's like one of the most influential, impactful things they'll ever hear in their entire lives because of how powerful it really is. I mean, you can use it to make more money, you can use it to have like a compatible life partner. You can know when to move houses, where to live, where not to live, and you can actually look at examples of how this is played out like historically in public figures and politicians and anything throughout history, and see evidence to prove like you don't want to live in an enemy state, you don't want to marry an enemy girl, you don't want to, because the historical examples will provide insight to like the detriments that will happen if you make the wrong moves, and then you'll see what happens when you make the right moves. Like when Apple was founded on a 28 day, which is the number of wealth, and then it became the biggest tech platform that there is. So, anyways, I'll get
Yeah, man.
into my spiritual journey to kick us off.
Of course, man. Well, yeah, I'll just say I'll add, for me, numerology, not something I've spoken much about on my channel, but it is something I came onto and I was like, wait a second, this is pretty crazy stuff. It's not like the female star signs and all this stuff. It's like a whole nother level. It's a whole nother ball game, and it's very, very, very powerful. And this is what the richest people are using. You start to see the patterns. But yeah, tell us a bit about your personal journey with just like semen retention, spiritual awakening, just tapping into the guy you are now. How did that all come to be?
Yeah, brother. So I know your channel is all about semen retention and fitness, health, all those things. And, I'm young, I'm 20. I've been on semen retention fully for about over a year. So that means like no, full semen retention for over a year. And that's a pretty big milestone for most people. Like, a lot of people watching this, I know you're going through that journey right now. And here's the thing: I didn't just get out the gate like I want to do this, and then I succeeded. And a year later, here I am. That wasn't my story. I actually struggled for years because I wanted to quit, like fully quit, um, like whether it be ejaculating period or when I was younger, like watching porn and just being a fucking degenerate, which was raised by a degenerate society. I wanted to quit that since I was 15, 16. But, it's an addiction. And so, anyways, my solution wasn't what all these gurus on YouTube will tell you. My solution was a little bit different. And I'm sure Ben can really relate to this as well because we both went through this journey, and Ben's got excellent insight in his program and in everything, all his posts about semen retention. I mean, it's like it's really like a formula that you can't really go wrong with. But yeah, for me it was spiritual. For me it was a spiritual awakening that finally did it and finally gave me the power. And so yeah, I mean, basically once you understand that you're gonna you need to understand unattachment so you can control your actions, and then after a period of time you'll have cleansed your mind. So it's a pretty basic way of saying it. So it's like you know you're gonna feel horny, you know you're gonna feel lustful, you know you're gonna feel um, all these desires of how you want to basically fail and things like that. But here's the thing: if you understand that you can't control your feelings, letting go and unattaching, and realizing that all you can control is your actions, then after a period of time of just controlling your actions through a zenful mind, which means just unattaching, letting go, saying, "Okay, I'm feeling this way," and just unattaching your actual actions from those thoughts and those feelings, then those feelings will pass. And so my practice of meditation and a spiritual journey learning from monks and things of that nature is actually what finally, like, broke that threshold of self-control. And so, when you're on semen retention for a year, it's like you have so much power, you have so much strength, as Ben can attest to. It's like you have a drive to achieve, and you have vitality and health and confidence that you can't achieve. It's like, you know, if you're someone who's successful in business, who is on a spiritual journey, I don't care what you've achieved or what you know. If you can't control your sexual energy and you're a bitch to your desires, then you're still at square one and you haven't achieved shit. That's how I feel about it, at least. Now, anyways, spiritual journey for me, to really answer your question, what kicked off my spiritual journey and how I really got into that process of learning to unattach and learning from monks, so I could, like, learn to control my sexual energy. That process, was you got to start at the basics, right? I was in the gym. I was working out, learning about health, learning about fitness. Um, and I thought, maybe just if I learned fitness and I learned discipline and things of that nature, the material things in this world, which are very good and must be applied because the material is step one, right? Then I was like, well, maybe if I learn these things, then I would just be able to be strong enough to not, to control my sexual urges too. I was wrong about that because I could get stronger, I could get richer, I could get these things, but just for me personally, that was never enough, to really control my sexual energy and evolve. And so I learned meditation, I learned unattachment, and that opened up a whole new world for me as I started to go on the spiritual rabbit holes and understand what sexual energy really is, understand Kundalini, which, is basically how the body, it's like a energy source which is sexual in the body that can unlock certain things and give you certain abilities, which has been, the understanding of Kundalini energy has been around for very, very long time. I mean, way before the Bible. Like, look at ancient Egyptians. Whether you want to call them Anunnaki, whether you want to call them Egyptian or whatever, the all the hypothesis aside, if you look at their artwork and the artifacts, they talk about semen retention, right? Look at the Ankh cross. So this is a very ancient practice and understanding which predates religions, predates the Bible. And so it really shows you that this is a spiritual thing. Semen retention, as much as it is a physical and material thing, it's also a spiritual thing. And understanding that is what actually kickstarted my spiritual journey and gave me success and led me to numerology.
Yeah, man. No, that's very fascinating, and I think for most people that kind of become someone unique, really develop themselves as a character, I find most guys I've met have been introduced to semen retention, no fap, whatever, and they've they've like kind of got a handle on it, and that's kind of why we're even having a conversation, because we've kind of gone on that path, and like you said, it's literally level one. Like that's the thing. I'm not trying to sit here and be like, look, we've done semen retention and you haven't. Like it's, as a man, it's the most basic thing you need to overcome to just have a form of self control and have, like, do you know what I mean? Just to get past level one, you need to do that. So it's important. That's why I wanted to kind of start the podcast off with that topic. But you mentioned numerology there, man. So what? Tell us a bit about some numerology. For people that are
I'd
watching,
love
maybe
to,
they
brother.
maybe they don't know much about it. Maybe they're new to it. Break it down for us. Give us a little lesson.
Yeah. So yeah, like you said, semen retention step one. But here's the thing, once you semen retain, you realize that most people, most other people in this world and in this degenerate world don't even understand semen retention and haven't even successfully accomplished it. So if you're somebody who does have control over his sexual energy and doesn't fall for lust, surrounded by everyone else in the room, everywhere you go that does, then it basically makes you feel superhuman. You're basically you're a man walking amongst fucking boys. Doesn't matter where you are in life, what your stature is, what your material, how much money you have. But if you're somebody that's surrounded by people that could be more jacked than you, they can be richer than you, they can be better looking, more popular. But guess what? If you can tell when somebody has no control over lust. And if you see them, that weak person that has never retained their semen, that has never gained control of their sexual energy, that's a bitch to their sexual desires, and you're a fucking god that has fucking full control of your sexual energy, that doesn't give a fuck how you feel, that just is a fucking man. It's a really good feeling, and basically it puts you ahead of all the competition. It makes you realize if you succeeded in this place that millionaires haven't succeeded or that rich people haven't succeeded, then it makes you realize that holy shit, I can succeed anywhere. So that's why it's so important that you do it no matter where you are in life. It's like a cheat code. But anyways, we're going to talk about some other cheat codes, some things that you've never heard most likely, and if you know about numerology, we're going to give you some new insights. So, numerology, the cheat codes to the matrix. It's similar to astrology, but it works. It's not any of that bullshit that you'll hear from your girlfriend or from, your freaking grandma next door, right? Basically, the world we live in, the universe, is an energy matrix. Like Tesla and Albert Einstein have said, everything in this world is made up of energy, which is vibrating at different frequencies. And you can track this through numbers. So basically, for an example, wealth, an abundance of money, right? That is a vibrational frequency. And that frequency in numerical form is the number 28, which is why the richest man in the world, Elon Musk, is born on the 28th. Because of his birthday, he basically has that wealth vibrational frequency imprinted upon him. Now, the guy before him, Bill Gates, was also born on the 28th. And Bill Gates' competitor, Steve Jobs, who founded Apple, was born on a day which adds up to 28. And then he went on to create Apple on a day which adds to 28. And then he incorporated Apple on a day which adds to 28. So that's what you have to realize is most people don't understand this. Most people that hear it don't believe it. But the people that understand it and use it are the wealthiest and most powerful individuals throughout history, which is why JP Morgan, one of the richest people ever, said millionaires don't use astrology, billionaires do. So that's, basically what numerology is.
Yeah, man. No, that's I agree. And I think for a lot of people, they're probably hearing this thinking like this is kind of just made up kind of nonsense. It's all kind of like a bit of random. And I can understand where you're coming from because I'm a logical thinker myself. But so with that being said, um, if someone was to come to you like with that kind of mentality, what's some things you could say to kind of what's some instant ways you can kind of prove numerology? And I think those points were good points, but is there anything more
Yeah.
specific, so to say?
Yeah, I was just at a dinner last night with a bunch of people, and somebody said, "Hey, he got 2 million views on his numerology vid the other day." I was like, and then they're like, what's numerology?" And I said, "Well, tell me your birthday." Gave him obviously a free basic reading of his energy, um, based off his birthday, and read him like a book. And not only that, I gave him a reading of what his yearly cycle of energy was this year and the year before that, and read him like a book, said exactly what he was doing in those years. And I just met the guy. And, I did that at dinner with different people in the city the weekend before. And I was talking to a guy who was completely skeptical, wouldn't even tell me his birthday. And then I talked to his friend beside him. I was like, he told me his birthday. I was like, does wealth come to you? He was like, he said, I wouldn't necessarily say he's some guy living in San Francisco in like a multi-million dollar house, but he, maybe he's humble, maybe he hasn't tapped into his energy. And then he was like, and then I said, okay, that's interesting. And then I said, yeah, well, a lot of people are born on the 28th, a lot of rich people like Bill Gates. He said, Bill Gates has the exact same birthday as me, day, month, and year. And I said, oh, okay. Maybe there's a reason I asked if wealth came to you. Because Bill Gates is born on the exact same day as this dude. And there's no coincidences. So yeah, I typically just give readings, and it's a pretty simple way. But for someone that actually wants to understand, like grasp the concept of why your birthday has energy, so you have to understand the nature of this world that we're in. And that's a tricky thing for most people to do because all they know is, the air they breathe, the where all they know is the material things in this world on a physical level. But like Gary always says, Gary the numbers guy, it's like, you can feel the wind. When you put your hand out the car, you can feel the wind. The wind's there. You just can't see it. And it's the same concept with energy. Energy's there. Everything's energy. And it's like what this world is, what everything is made up of. My hand is energy. It's vibrating at a certain frequency, and that's why it's all just vibrational frequency. And that's why it's made up the certain way it is. If it was a different frequency, it would have a different shape, a different color, a different texture, everything, which would be numerically coded differently because geometry, different shape, color spectrum, different color. And so, yeah, basically numbers track everything because think about the movie The Matrix, or think about like a video game program, like coding. That's really what this world is on a vibrational level. But
Yeah, man.
here's a good test for most people that are non-believers, just to give you guys some game if you want to like put this to the test yourself, because I'll tell you something. I'm an extremely skeptical person as well. I chew on things every day, all day, before I really swallow them. No homo, no diddy on that. But nah, but brother, it's like I need to fully understand things, apply them, you know, I gave everybody I knew readings, and took me months till I really fully like came to realize the power behind this, because I would laugh when girls would tell me you're a Scorpio. I would like it though, because every time I told girls I'm a Scorpio, they'd always get turned on. They're always like, "You're a Scorpio," you know. But that was the only reason I liked it. But but
Boost the
yeah,
ego.
so yeah, but yeah, so one test I would give you guys is basically on a 4 day. So on the 13th, well, the 4th, the 13th, the 31st, or a day which adds up in single digits to 4. So, like right now, it's 12, 19, 2004. 1 plus 2 plus 1 plus 9 plus 2 plus 2 plus 4 would equal a number which reduces to 3, right? So you got to add it up, and then you got to reduce that last number. Like if it's like 24, 2 plus 4 is 6. Anyways, so if it's a 4 day, I want you to, whenever you go into town, whenever you go to work, look around, and you're most likely going to encounter more cops. You're going to see more cops on the street, because 4 is a number of law and order. Or go back, if you have a camera roll with like um, timestamp memories of your pictures, go back in the days that you were arrested or you were pulled over. It's most likely on a day that has 4 energy. And that's because this matrix operates by energy, which is coded by numbers. So that's something, an easy test.
Yeah, man. I'd say there's been 2 days where I was like, man, there's so much police. Like, what's going on? Like helicopters, like police cars flying around. And I remember thinking, wait a second, is it a 4 day today? And I would literally look, and it would be it was a 4 day. And I'll add another little another little anecdote. Was flying back from Italy, and I didn't even know what day. I just booked the flight. I didn't really think too much about the numbers or anything. And there was all these problems, air traffic control. The plane couldn't get off the runway. Loads of things going on. And it was a double 11 day. And if you know anything about the 11, I mean, I don't know what you can say, but 11 and electric. I mean, there's some kind of correlation going on there. So, and I thought that was kind of crazy. That there was all these technical problems under that 11 energy, which is quite common, right?
Yeah, basically, you don't want to fly. See, this is why numerology is so powerful. You can know that you shouldn't be on an airplane on an 11 day, because you're most like you're, no, you're more likely to crash because of the 11 energy affecting
Yeah,
electronics.
definitely.
Just like, you don't want to okay, let's say you're someone who wants to have a kid, but you're infertile. Have sex on the 5th, and you're genuinely more likely to actually produce a child. But if you don't want a kid, don't have sex on that day, because it puts you at more of a risk to get pregnant.
And that's because the number five, like,
5 is the number of sexual energy.
got it, man, got it. Okay, cool. So, but yeah, was there anything else though that you kind of had in terms of
Yeah,
numerology that
yeah,
you want to spill?
for sure, for sure. So I'll talk about the life path number just so everyone can understand what their energy is. So basically, like I was telling you guys, based off your birthday, you have a certain energy, and that energy will attract certain things, and you'll have certain traits, strengths, weaknesses. It'll make you compatible to certain people, certain places, certain things, and it basically can tell you your purpose in life, what you should be doing, what you should be avoiding. You can find your career. anything. There's so many ways to apply this. Know what days will be beneficial for you, what days will be against your energy, all these things. That stuff's more advanced, which I can't get into on this podcast. We talk about that within GG33. But I'll tell you guys about the basic life path numbers and what that energy means for you. So yeah, basically if you're born on the 1st, 10th, 19th, or 28th, or your birthday adds up to a number, like let's say it adds up to 19 when you add it up in single digits, and it reduces, like 1 plus 9 is 10, 10 plus 1 plus 0 is 1. 1 is, that's your frequency, that's your main life path number. That's how you get the life path. So basically, yeah, 1 is the number of male energy. And people born in these days tend to be more alphas, tend to be more aggressive, tend to be more assertive. You know, you'll notice all those words start with A. A is the first letter. And yeah, so you'll be more of a fighter, more of a leader, and you doesn't mean you should always, be in a leadership position, because if you're someone that's not fit to lead, then obviously you need to evolve yourself first. But what I will tell you is that you should at least, like if I was hiring somebody, I wouldn't want an employee to be a 1 life path. I would want a 4 life path. I would only want a 1 life path if they're in a position that they could at least lead a bit, like if they had their own team or if they could work based off commission, because then they could actually go for it. They're not just taking orders. So, anyways, that's 1 energy. Now, 2 is not a life path number. So the only way you have 2 energy is if you're born on the 2nd of the month. So even if your birthday adds up to 20, 20 is actually vibrates like an 11. So I won't get into that, the reasons why, but basically, yeah. 20 is 11, so count it as 11. 2 is a number of female energy. So that's why if you look at the word beta, opposite of alpha, starts with the B. B is the second letter. And so, anyways, these tend to be feminine people, extremely peaceful, extremely sensitive in a feminine way, right? Because the 11 sensitive too, but in a more feminine way. And if they're a woman, they tend to have very curvy features. Man or woman, they tend to be more feminine in their features as well. Like I've seen a lot of guys with born on the 2nd, they tend to have nice eyelashes and things like that, more feminine features. So 3. 3 is the number of childlike energy. So these people tend to be very good at communication, right? Today's a 3 day, and we're talking on a podcast. People tend to be very creative and, with the mind of a child. They tend to age pretty well, right? Because they have that 3 energy, right? You have to think in all terms, childlike energy. They tend to have short attention spans, be more social. And definitely, if you want to throw a party, do it on the 3rd, 12th, 21st, 30th, because more people will show up because it's social energy. Now, if you're born on the 4th, 13th, or 31st, not the 22nd, 22 is a different number. It's its own frequency. Or your birthday adds up to one of those numbers, which reduces to 4. You are a builder. 4 is the builder. So these people are very disciplined, very routine based. They tend to do the same things every day, like follow their routine, and they're very good workers, which why which is why I said, like, if I wanted an employee that was just, needed to work, needed to do basic tasks, I would get a 4 because they would work harder, they're good at following orders, and it's also the number of law and order as well. So you'll see a lot of 4s do very well as cops. Not good at criminals, though. They make terrible criminals. They will get caught. You need to be on the side of law and order. So keep that in mind if you're a 4. You shouldn't be committing crimes, or that basically that won't go
Three
very
is the
well for
criminal,
you.
right?
Would you say?
Three, three is the criminal, right? Begins with a C.
Exactly.
Criminal.
3 is the
Three.
criminal, which is opposite of 4. Um, so as you can see, like 3 is the child. It's also the criminal. And the reason it's also the criminal has to do with the childlike nature, which is why it's also the comedian. So things aren't as basic as you'd think getting into this. They're actually pretty complex. There's some
Fours
varying
are
degrees and expressions of each number.
and fours. Would you agree? A four is tends to be very stable kind of person, and it's like a table has four
Yeah.
legs. Is something always.
Yeah. I
And
mean,
even the number four itself,
analogies aside, it's like,
it's very straight lines. It's very organized. I always used to think like the four is just like bang. It's like organization, structure.
yeah, exactly. I mean, it is. It's a very, and you know that best, as
I'm
someone
born, of
with,
course. So
yeah. So, but yeah, so yeah,
yeah, keep going,
very
man. You're
structured.
cooking, man. You're cooking.
Fuck yeah. But yeah, anyways, so yeah, that's that energy. That's the 4 energy. Now you got 5. 5 is the number of a few things. Sex. These are the most attractive individuals, the most sexual individuals. Their sex life is very important. Travel. These are the people that will travel the most, that hate staying in one place. They need to get out and see new things, and they hate being in a box. And these are very open-minded people, very open to new ideas, but they tend to be interested in learning. Their only issue is trying to retain those things, because as you guys now know, it's a very open number, the open mind, but that manifests in different ways. They tend to like new ideas, but then it's also the number of change, and so they tend to forget as quickly as they learned a lot of the time. Then you got 6. 6 is the number of home and family. So those individuals are very family oriented people, very selfless. They're homebodies. They like to be at home and cook. They're the best cooks. Now, that's just my input. I think they're the best cooks, man. For sure, is what I've noticed. They love to eat. That is a fact. And you'll even notice um, things line up. Everything's coded by numbers. A lot of people believe in astrology, like Western astrology. Look at the Virgo. The energy point of the Virgo is the stomach, right? So they tend to get big stomachs, and that's like where their energy's focused. Then you look at the 6. It's the sixth sign. The 6 is shaped with a bigger stomach, right? And people born with 6 energy tend to pick up weight around their gut, same as the 6th sign. So a lot of correlations within astrology, numerology, all these things, because it
I would
really
say
boils down to the numbers.
I just got into a 6 year personal cycle, and bro, I've been like so much more just interested in food, cooking, like eating. So like, and you
Yeah.
even said that to me. You're like, oh yeah, when you hit that six, you're gonna be eating like crazy, and I've literally been just like that. And it's not really in my nature to be like that. You know what I mean? So it's very, very interesting. And I've really noticed that. Yeah, it's only been like a few weeks, but I've really noticed the eating element. And even just like wanting to learn about cooking, like I'm like, oh, I'll like really put time and energy into my food, whereas before I just eat anything. I don't really care. So it's very interesting.
100%, brother. I noticed that same thing in my partial six cycle. I was definitely at home. But yeah, so these people are homebodies. They don't like to go out as much. They like to eat in. They like to, if you ask them, what do you want to do? They probably just want to hang out with their close family, their close relationships. These are relationship type of people. So, like, one thing you'll notice about people with six energies, they tend to always be in relationships. They tend to always be dating somebody. It's like they have that need to be with somebody in their heart, but they're also the most loyal. So if you guys want a wife who's going to stay at home, cook, have kids, all these things, get somebody with six energy. They'll do it best, and it's what they want to do.
Hmm.
Anyways, moving on. Seven. Seven's the number of the genius. Genius starts with G, the seventh letter, just like family starts with F, the sixth letter. So, anyways, these people are extremely intelligent. These people tend to be, their energy is fixated on the mental and spiritual plane. And because of that, it's like everything's yin and yang in this world. They're very intelligent, but their bodies tend to break down quicker. They tend to get injured more frequently. You know, Steve Hawking, case in point. He's a seven life path and extremely intelligent, but take a look at his physical condition. Now, with the seven energy as well, they tend to have like a very social, or no, sorry, very low social energy. So these are people that, you got to really open up. They're very quiet. They're more uh, loners. They're more philosophers. Not as good at talking. They really need to work on that social expression, that charisma, and yeah, they tend to be very awkward people. Then you got eight. So we talked about the spiritual, seven number, the geniuses. Now we got eight. Eight's a material. So people born on the 8th, 17th, 26th, these people are extremely money oriented. So they're always going to be around money, whether they're a banker, whether they're, any position that has to do with handling finances, um, even just being around money. Like, maybe they're born into a wealthy family. That's pretty common. Doesn't mean they're always rich. That's the thing that most people need to understand. Like, even within numerology, you got to understand there's a difference between the 8 and the 28. 8 is a number of money. So, money can mean no money or a lot of money. 28's wealth, that's an abundance of money. There's a difference. So, yeah, most people with 8 energy tend to be broke, but they have a potential to get rich. Very materialistic people. They like the finer things. They like, yeah, material possessions, and it's also the number of power, so they're very attracted to power. If you want somebody who's going to be, a good business partner, someone who's born in the 8th might be better with, managing the money, things of that nature, more motivated to be a capitalist. If you want to attract a girl born in the 8th, get some muscles because they're attracted to power, just like the Scorpio, the 8th sign. So these things do line up. Anyways, brother, the 9. 9 is the most adaptable. They are extremely intelligent. They are great psychologists. What I notice about the 9 is they love to basically reflect other people's energy. They love to like get in other people's heads and like feel and replicate how they talk, how they act, and just like, yeah, basically they like to understand how other people function, and they're really adaptable. So if you throw them in any crowd, they can be hanging out with a bunch of country folk one day, and then you throw them in a crowd with a bunch of hip hop, rapper, you just think opium type crowd, like Playboy Cardi, all that like retarded ass shit. then they'll fit in, or they'll try to. They'll mesh well wherever they're put. And a lot of nine life paths I talk to, this is their testament. It's like you can travel all over the world. Like one nine life path I know personally has basically traveled all over the world, been with the Hindus, been with the Muslims, been with the Christians, been with anybody. And everywhere he goes, people think, you must have been here your whole life. But it's because he can replicate their energy. Anyways, these are some insights a lot of people, even within numerology, have probably never have gotten.
Yeah, and the thing with the nine is I heard you talk about it. I mean, you missed out a big component of the nine. I think you're just trying to be nice to me because I'm a nine myself. But like, if you add any number to nine, you always get the same number back. So I think a lot of people think that it's like we mirror our environment, and nines are very environment sensitive, as far as I'm aware. Like that's Gary's advice is like if you're a nine, you want to be successful, get yourself around winners, and you'll be a winner, kind of thing. But one of the things you missed was the ego, bro. You want to talk about the nine and the ego?
Those fucking nines, bro. No. Yeah, so here's the thing, man. Nine is also the number of ego. So people with nine energy tend to have the biggest egos. So like they tend to, yeah, think they know everything, have a very egotistical nature, and be more selfish. Nines are the highest percentage of liars, cheaters, thieves, all of these things. And that's a very large part of that is because they're so adaptable. Most of this world is degenerate and fucked up. So if you grow up around degeneracy as a nine, you'll become that because you are your surroundings as a nine most of the time, right? That's a struggle for nines. And here's the thing, if you're born around Christians or like, we can't really say Christians anymore, not many people that are real Christians. If you're born around Muslims, then you're most likely as a nine going to be a great Muslim and going to be a very halal person, So yeah, but ego is a very very large part of the nine. So one thing I would tell a nine is to learn to be humble, and you are intelligent, you have strengths, but also understand your weaknesses because everything's yin and yang. And so a lot of times
Mhm.
you're wrong. A lot of times you don't actually know, and you have to realize and take humility when you're not at the top of your game. Because a lot of nines walk around thinking they know everything and they're at the top of their game no matter where they go, and it's not the case all the time, man. Anyways,
Yeah,
yeah.
for
So that's the
sure.
basic 1 through 9. Would you have any advice for the nines out there as a nine yourself?
Yeah, I've encountered some nines myself, and my advice would be don't talk as much, learn to listen. You learn so much more when you ask good questions. That's like it's like it feels so right when you do it. Like I'll sit down with someone and your ego is trying to tell you and you want them to validate you and you want them to you just want to talk about yourself. But it's like if you can just sit there and just focus on asking really good questions and listening, I feel like you can learn a lot from if you're in the right room, with you can learn a lot from people because a nine is always trying to wait for their piece. Like I notice myself doing it sometimes, I just want to talk about myself, but it's like if you can just learn to listen, um, yeah, I think that's a good piece of advice. And stay away from alcohol, stay away from drugs. Like it's just so bad. Like
Pills. Stay away from pills. You have nines. There's a lot of things about nines I could say. They're the biggest simps. They tend to be very superficial people, and a lot of them are simps for good-looking women. Looks are a lot of times the most important thing to nine life paths, and they're the most addictive. So stay the fuck away from pills. That's the worst. Stay away from drugs. It's gonna fuck you up.
all right, man. Well, you heard it. Wisdom right there.
Yes, sir.
So what
So,
are we now
anyways, I'll
getting
talk
into?
about the
Plus
11 through
numbers.
33.
So we're going on to a whole new frequency now, guys.
Gotta level up. Yeah, so if you guys are born on an 11 day, so that's 11th, 20th, um, or 29th, or you're born on a day which adds to a number which reduces to 11, including the 20th, or including 20, then you're an 11 life path. And master numbers are older souls. Master numbers naturally have wisdom and intuition beyond the 1 through 9. And 11 is a number of emotional energy. These people tend to be emotional wrecks, straight up. If you're not in the gym as an 11, then that's really taxing you because you need an outlet to that emotional energy. Now, this emotional energy is electric. So you're very charismatic. You're very, you have a natural, yeah, like I said, natural athleticism, charisma. You know, people like Kanye West or Kobe Bryant or Kyrie Irving all have 11 energy. Notice their name starts with K, the 11th letter. So there's a lot to names as well, and they tend to tie in with numerology very frequently. But like for example, Bill Gates, I was talking about him, born on the 28th. Capital B for Bill, capital B is the 28th letter because the alphabet goes to Z26 and then capitals A, capital A 27, capital B 28. So things line up pretty frequently. But yeah, so 11 energy, here's my advice to how to basically master your energy. You need to be mastering emotional energy. You need to be in the gym. Let's say you're someone that's really struggling emotionally as an 11, get a haircut. That's because hair actually stores emotional energy, which is one reason why monks who want to be attached emotionally shave their hair. They actually are reducing the emotional energy which is stored within them. And yeah, master your charisma, your athleticism. You got a lot of talents. You tend to be more of a visionary. So master that nature. 22. 22 is a progression. It's rarer than the 11. And then the 33 is rarer than the 22. 22 numerologically is just rare because you can only be born on the 22nd, or your birthday can only add up to 22. You can't reduce to 22. So people with this energy are master builders. They tend to manifest muscle really easily. Like if you look at the top bodybuilders, like I think the top like what 3 female bodybuilders are all born on the 22nd. Bradley Martin, born on the 22nd, biggest fitness influencer of our time. So yeah, it's the master builder, and this manifests in multiple ways, not just muscle, but they do have the ability to put on the muscle the easiest. But these people are just excellent at crafting anything in this material world. They can build themselves up, they can build businesses up, they can build up other people around them the best. So that's the nature of the 22. So yeah, my advice to you guys is build and build and lead and build everything up, man. Use your talents.
Yeah, man, I know a few
33.
22s. I know a few 22s, and they're definitely very they'll like ask me questions like, okay, so what's going on in your life right now? What are you working on? Like they're giving you like free coaching sessions, and it's like, you know, I think because I know that's their nature, but it's like it's very interesting. And I've noticed 11s can be like that too. They're very motivational. Like they like to motivate people. Like is that that's I'm pretty sure
Yeah.
that's a trait of 11. But one thing you missed about the 22, well, you didn't miss it, but one other thing is that I've noticed is they're like probably the most loyal of them all, would you say?
In my experience, yeah, 22s are extremely loyal. Like extremely. I'd say 33 is probably the most. Just from my experience, like I'm not talking about, knowledge, but really I've noticed the 6 most loyal, the 1 through 9, 22 outside of that, Very loyal, for sure. I've noticed in my own life, at least. 33, very loyal. Like pretty much always, 33s are loyal. All the ones I've met, at least. But it just happens to be that way because, like for example, most 33s I've known that are women, uh, like waited a very long time to lose their virginity, or even were still virgins, or had very low body counts, and that's inherent wisdom
Do you think they have like very
because
spiritual
sexual energy you need
understanding?
to protect.
Yeah, they have a very like spiritual understanding. And would you say the 33 is a very spiritual number because of its frequency?
Yeah, it's the most spiritual number.
Interesting. Very interesting.
So spiritual numbers would be 33, number one, most spiritual. And then 11s are very spiritual and have insight and all this visualization and a lot of spiritual insights and a spiritual path overall. But sevens, I'd say, have a better understanding. They can like explore deeper. They can, because of that mental energy, they can figure things out on a different level, which 11s can't. But together, like a 7-11 or a 33-7, shoo, it gives you, I mean, look at the godfather of numerology, Gary the numbers guy, a 33 life path born on a 7 day. There you go.
Yeah, true, man. True.
But
Very
um,
true.
but yeah, you want me to talk about the 33?
Please do, bro. Yeah, it's very interesting.
33 is a number of influence, which is why Jesus Christ died at 33 years old. Or, there's a lot of things that have to do with 33. Like, why do you think the Freemason order goes up to 33 degrees? Why does everyone use the 33? People make this mistake like they think 33 comes from the Freemasons, but no. 33 predates the Freemasons because it's a frequency. They're trying to tap into it. There's a reason that water is freezing at 32 degrees Fahrenheit. And then once it reaches 33, it's liquid. Or, you could say 33 vertebrae in the spine, a lot of
Hmm.
33 things in this world that you'll start to pick up on and realize, like, wow, this is a very powerful number. But what it is the number of influence. Some examples of this besides Jesus Christ would be um, Albert Einstein. We all know his name. Thomas Edison. We know his name too. Hitler. Regardless of what these people did, whether it's good or bad, or whether, they stole inventions or whether who gives a fuck. The Wright brothers, people that were first in flight, doesn't matter because guess what? We remember their name and anything that they did. Like for example, Thomas Edison with the light bulb. A lot of people say he didn't invent it. That's fine, but guess what? We remember his name and his influence, and that's the 33 vibration. So these people are the most influential. Like I said, oldest souls. It's actually the most intelligent sign. They have inherent wisdom, and they're here to basically influence the world. If you're 33 out there, good luck. Do your thing. Um, Try harder because most of you guys are failing. And
Well,
yeah.
bro. Let's talk about you though. You're talking about the 33. You have some of that 33 energy. Like, why is that?
Well, because my birthday adds up to 6 one way and 33 one way, which means I'm a 33-6. And so a lot of you guys are going to find that too. Um, the only way you're a pure 33 is if you're born on a month and day, which is a single digit or a master number. So, like if you're born November 11th, 2009, right? You got master number, and then 2009, 2 plus 9 is 11. That adds up to 33 because you don't reduce master numbers, but it's too complicated
Yeah,
for most people out here. So, I'll keep it simple.
for sure. And what's the difference
So,
between a 33-6 and a 33?
yeah. So, a 33-6 has two vibrations. And this is great. I want to get into this for the people that know numerology to give my take on all this. And I want to point out some very valid points on the 33-6.
Please do, man. It's a question I actually have myself, so I'm intrigued.
Cool. So the 33-6 is a dual vibration. And keep in mind, I'm someone who's a 33-6, so I experienced this. I've known this for years now. And so I've been, every single day experiencing the new energy cycles and the new everything and taking notes and fucking learning constantly. So this is where my knowledge stems from. So the 33-6, basically, your birthday adds up to 33 one way. Let's look at XXX Tentacion. His birthday adds up, if you add up he's January 23rd, 1998. You add up 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 1 plus 9 plus 9 plus 8. That equals 33. 1 plus 23, if you add it as a double digit, 1 plus 23 is 24. And, you had 24 plus 27, right? And so, that's 60. Wait. No, that's 51. So basically 51, 5 plus 1, 6. So you got both equations there. You got two ways you can add it up. And because of this, you're a 33-6, which means you're either in the 33 vibration or the 6 vibration, and you bounce back and forth. It's not like two at the same time, but it's a weaker version. That doesn't exist. There is no stronger or weaker version of the 33 because it's a number. It's 33. It's one frequency. You can't dampen it or change it. So you're either in the 33 vibration or you're in the 6 vibration. Now, with that being said, X, his birthday adds up to 33 one way and adds up to 6 another way. And that's it. You have two combinations, which means you're half and half. So you bounce back and forth from the 33 to the 6. People argue the percentage of time as, keep with this in mind, 50-50. People argue the percentage of time you're in the vibration. And I say, look at the fruits of your life. Are you someone who has just been dating girls in relationships all the time with your family, been a homebody, eating food, being a 6? Or have you really influenced this world? What has been your focus? What are the fruits of your life? How is this manifested? So there's that. That's the 50-50. Now, when we get a little more advanced, right? If you're someone who's born on a day like who's that guy Gary's had on? Suleiman. He's born 10-10-1985, I believe. You got a lot of combinations there. You got 10. You can add it up 1 plus 1 for 10-10, or you can add it as 10 plus 1 plus the year, which that gets 33. Or you can add it up as 10 plus 10. So that's like, 4 combinations of what your life path could be, ways you could add it up, 3 combinations. Or if you're somebody even worse, bro, if you're somebody who's born, like, let's say, what was it, 10? Okay, how about this? 12-13-2024. So 12-13, you can add that up in single digits. You can add that up in like holding one in the single digit in the other, or you can add that up as single digits and then 24. You know what I mean? There's so many ways to add it up because 24 is now its own number as well in the 2024. So I hope you guys understand the picture I'm painting here, but that would leave you with 4 different equations. Are you
That's a
lost
little
or are
bit more
you with me?
Huh?
Are you lost or are you with me right
No,
now?
I'm not lost, but I think it could be a little bit too many numbers in one go for people to keep up with. But I know what you're saying. But yeah, there's
That's
different
for the
shades.
people. Yeah. That's only for the people that are into numerology that understand. That's for the numerologists that listen to this and they're like taking notes right now. So like let's say you have 4 different combinations or like many more combinations, like however many you have, that's how many vibrations you have. So you got to think, if you're only a fourth of that time you're in the 33, you're still like at that level of evolution technically, but you're only going to be in that energy for a fourth of the time, which means someone who's uh you know 33.6 or someone who's a pure 33, it's like they'll be in it more often, they'll have more energy to tap into. But then again, things only go as far as you take them. So you'll see people who have a small percentage of 33 vibration smoking pure 33s if they tap into the energy and the other one doesn't.
Interesting, interesting. So, like, for my birthday, is there another way to add up then? 412, 2000? Like, would it be, like, could you add 4 to 12, make it, what, 16? Add 2,
Mm-hmm.
18?
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. I never thought of it like that.
Yep. So you got two. You could. So yeah. So you're either pure nine or you're 18. So you're 9 by 18 technically. You have two slightly different vibrations because you got to think, like if you're a six life path who's 15 by 24, then you're going to be two different vibrations, right? Maybe when you're in that 15 vibration, you might be more sexual, you might be more uh, intelligent, because the five's slightly smarter. You might be more open minded, things of that nature, than when you're in the 24, because you do alternate.
That's interesting. So, mine would be more like the 1-8, so like money focused and like that one energy, I guess. A little bit more
Yeah,
alpha,
you could
maybe.
tell. I mean,
The nine's
yeah,
like
and
the spirit.
18 is a very powerful version of the nine, too. Very powerful.
Because I definitely flicker between the two. I'm sometimes like just like attack mode, and then sometimes I'm super spiritual, super like just I don't know, like tapped into that frequency. It's kind of weird. So that's interesting. I never even knew about that. So that's a new thing for me to take on board. But yeah, but with that, like it's like Gary says, like the 9 and the 18, or and then maybe the 27, they're all like different shades of the same color. It's like one's a light blue, one's a dark blue, one's a so like the 27 would be the smartest, would you say, because of the 2 and the 7?
Yeah, they'd be the smartest, but from what I've seen and from what I hear, they're also uh, the most degenerate. They're also the most, liars, cheaters, thieves. Those are the fucking drug addicts.
Because
So
seven's like a sexual sinner, right?
seven's sexual for sure. Seven's, I mean, yeah, I won't get into it too much, but
Yeah,
it's definitely a
yeah,
sexual number.
yeah, it's very, very interesting. And then the 4 is more conservative, right? Four's more,
For sure, fours
a
are conservative.
woman's not going to be hoeing around like as much as maybe a 5, or I don't know, a different number in general.
Yeah, maybe a
But
nine. Yeah,
it's not complete science. Like it's more of like they're under that energy, but anyone can do what they want in life. You know what I mean?
of course. Yeah, surrounding your surroundings, because you got numerology, and then you got your surroundings, like even above that, like environment, like what you've been raised in is so important. Like, you can have a country full of sevens and nines and fives, which are the most sexual or degenerate, and it's a Muslim nation, and they're all like saints, and then you got like fours and sixes and things like that in America, and they're all fucking hoes
Mm. Makes sense, man. It makes sense.
because yeah, because it's like environment does play a factor. But you got to think about this: if you can't discount numerology, because let's say you're one of those people that like let's say your woman is you're like, okay, my woman's a nine, but she's not a addict because she's surrounded by a good family and things of that nature, or she's not a degenerate because she's surrounded by good people. Well, you can't discount numerology because then you got to think like, okay, what energy cycle is she in now? Because here's the thing: if you got a woman and she enters a 5-year cycle, energy cycles change every year on your birthday. And then you go through that energy cycle, and that's what you're going to be experiencing, wanting, expressing. If you're in a 5-year energy cycle and you don't have a good sexual relationship with your wife, not going to end well, brother.
in
Cause
trouble.
yeah,
Yeah,
she might go looking different places, brother.
for
Cause you
sure,
need
man.
to
Well,
express that energy when you're in it, bro. I
yeah,
mean,
100%.
you were in one recently.
I was, yeah, man. I was. 5 years are pretty crazy, man. They're pretty intense. Quite a turbulent kind of year. Very indecisive, very back and forth. But that's that energy, right? And it's interesting because the personal year cycles, I mean, I guess for anyone that doesn't know what we're on about, is like, well, I don't know. Could you explain, like, what is a personal year cycle for anyone that might be
Hundred
wondering?
percent. Yeah, 100%. So there's energy cycles. Like if you know Eastern astrology, you might know that, this year is really bad for you. 2024 is really bad for if you're born in 2006, 19, what is it? 1994, right? 1982, 1970, because those are the years of the dog, and it is the year of the dragon, which are enemy signs. Now it starts to sound like some corny girl shit, but here's the thing: if you actually run the numbers and the statistics, you'll find out that this energy really does apply and is very accurate. And look at your own life. If you're a dog, how has this year been? How was 2012? Enemy years. Or how was 2018? That was your year. That was the year of the dog. Probably a lot easier of a year for you. So yeah, we go through energy cycles in Eastern astrology, and that's for everybody. But guess what? Numbers supersede astrology because numbers code astrology. And so we all go through personal energy cycles numerologically, which is what you should base your life off. Like, if you're going through a 5 cycle, you should try to get out more. You should try to travel. Maybe you should move, you know? If you're going through an 8 cycle, you need to be focused on money. You need to get your power up. If you're in a 7 year cycle, go easy in the gym. Step out of the spotlight, or you're going to get taken the fuck back. Sneeko entered his 7 year cycle, banned off 3 platforms. Jack Doherty entered his 7 year, 7 month cycle, double seven energy, crashes McLaren. This is what happens when you're in the spotlight in a 7 year cycle. People get injured in 7 year cycles, things of that nature. So, yeah, your energy cycle is changes on your birthday, lasts the whole year. And how you find that is you add up your birthday and birth month. So like right now it's 12/19. Birthday, birth month plus the current year. So if you're born 12/19/2005, then you add up 12/19/2024. And that number is what energy cycle you're entering, and that will change the next birthday. So yeah, energy
Yeah.
cycles.
And then, yeah, and like you kind of get a taste of each, depending on, like, I'm in a 6 year, so I kind of get a taste of the six energy. Or like, do you know what I mean? It's kind of cool. You get a taste of what each life path feels like. Five was, I don't know, man. Five was, I kind of miss it. It was kind of fun, but like I
It is
really
so
felt,
fun.
I felt that like just this kind of constant fire in me to like it was like also quite aggressive as well. Like I was ready to fight anyone at any moment, like kind of thing. And it was also just like I need to get outside. I need to go to a new place. I need to like there's just this eagerness to just go. You know what I mean? Whereas now I'm in the sixth energy. It's I can feel that it's a lot more calm. Like it's much more grounded. And also too, I'll be honest, because I'm very passionate about numerology. I love it. But I noticed is when I don't know if this is like I want your take on this. But when I left the five, went into the six, it's almost like the numerology took a back seat in my mind. Like I don't know. It's like I became a bit more logical, like a bit more. And I noticed with sixes, they don't tend to be like it's quite a grounded number. They don't tend to be as into the spiritual side of things. Would you agree?
It's very true.
Unless they're a 33-6. A 33-6 I've noticed is
Yeah.
like they have a spiritual side to them, but for the most part they're like, nah, like I don't believe in that stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, but the five,
That's where
every
it's
five I've
like
met,
you're.
fives have always been interested. I've never met a five that's not been like, tell me, I want to learn about this because they're very open minded, you know.
Mhm. I agree for sure. Sixes are grounded. Look at the number. It's like you got the bottom of the
Yeah.
numbers where it's bases versus like the 7, the 9. Those numbers are the top where the bases, and you could say that that is some plays a part in it. But yeah, that's just the way it is. Sevens are spiritual, nines are spiritual, fives are
So
open
just
minded.
quickly, sorry, man, I don't mean to cut you off, but like we're going into
No,
2025,
okay.
right? So 225 adds up to nine. So what does that mean? Because obviously we have the personal year cycles, but then you got like the kind of the universal year. So what does that mean?
Basically, a lot of people are gonna die.
Oh
No, that's
wow,
what you'll
okay.
hear Gary say.
Just try it straight in like that.
Man, yeah, fuck it, we're gonna drop like flies. Nah, I'll give you guys some basic things about the 9 year. Basically, it's nine is endings, and it's also a snake year, and the snake sheds its skin. So a nine snake year, because you got to combine energies, right?
Mhm.
Not none of that Western astrology. Think about Eastern astrology. Eastern is a lot more accurate. It's very strong. Numerology is the coding of the fucking matrix. So, anyways, when you got a 9 year with the snake year, a lot of people genuinely might die because endings. Um, yeah, basically, it's going to be very degenerate times. We talked about the 9 being very degenerate, and we talked about the 7. Think 2025. 25 at the end, 2 plus 5, 7. And also, 25 is a very degenerate number, a sexual version of 7, because 25 has the 5 in it, the most sexual number.
Mhm.
So, this combination of energy, combined with the snake being a pretty sexual number, I think it's going to be a very degenerate year. You're going to see tons, like that shit that was thriving in 2023, which, by the way, 23, 2 plus 3 is 5, and it's also a 7 universal year. There you go. The 7 and the 5. Now you got the 9 and the 7 with some 5 in there too. Now let's talk about the other side of all these energies. 7, 9, 5. People are going to be focused on intellectual growth and spirituality. And also the snake is the sign of the occult, which is why like Kundalini energy is a snake, or like, the serpent with Adam and Eve, things like that. So everyone in 2025 is going to be fixated on the occult. In 2024, this year, it's an 8 universal year, which is materialistic. Everyone's focusing on money. People are having financial problems. It's also the most religious sign. And look at Christianity, look at Muslims, look at Islam, look at those Muslims.
A
Nah,
lot of
but yeah,
people,
that shit's,
a lot of people turning to Christ like this year. I've
yeah,
noticed.
that shit's going up. But guess what? It's going up. But once 25 hits, no one's going to be talking about Allah. No one's going to be talking about Jesus. Everyone's going to be talking about everything occult, numerology, astrology, enlightenment, and that's going to be the trend of 2025. And yeah, so it's a good year to expand your mind with all those energies combined that I mentioned. Expand your mind to 2025. Don't start new beginnings because it's a 9 universal year. And if you're born in the year of the pig, look up your birthday. Say, is this year 2007, 1995, 1983? These are all the year of the pig. And if you're born in these years, 2025 is going to be a very difficult year for you, and you don't want to start anything new. Don't want to get married. Don't want to start a business. Don't want to do anything because that's enemy energy. And if you start something in enemy energy, comes back to bite you in the ass. So yeah. But if you're born in the year of the snake, 2001, If you're a little jitling, born in 2013, uh, um, any of these years, then this should be a pretty good year for you. And same goes with roosters, born 2005, 1993, 1981. Yeah. Oh, wait. I said that wrong.
1993 minus 12. Yeah, 81, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Wait.
So,
Oh, 81. Sorry, I visualized the wrong thing. See,
yeah, yeah.
I'm born in the 7th, and we tend
What
to
does that mean?
be in our we tend to be in our thoughts. We tend to get lost in our mind. Anyways,
Big,
what was
big,
your question?
big processor up there. All right, cool, man. So yeah, we've kind of blown people away. Who knows if they've managed to keep up? If they have, tell us a bit more about Chinese astrology because I'm very passionate about. I love Chinese astrology. I think it's so interesting. So give people a breakdown of Chinese astrology.
Right. So Chinese astrology is an ancient form of astrology that's been used, for thousands of years. I mean, there were leaders in China's history which would literally kill certain signs. Like the horse is the rebellion. The horse are rebels naturally, and so there was a leader. I can't remember the exact example, but he would literally kill any child born in the year of the horse to prevent a revolution. Or people. There was another example of a period of time when people wouldn't let their mothers wouldn't let their sons marry a woman born the year of the horse. Once again, year of the horse, but only because horses are the most stubborn sign, and they didn't want a stubborn wife. And so, yeah, so this is something that's been used for a very long time, and it's actually used by the elite. I mean, look at this year, the Democratic Party in a dragon year chose two people. They chose Kamala Harris and Tim Walz, both born in the year of the dragon, 1964. They wanted to use that energy. And this is how it goes.
Hmm. Bro,
So,
I'll add. There's a couple of things I noticed, and that I think they're using it more than we realize, or it's just working itself in its own way. But like the Gladiator film, Gladiator,
I love that movie.
bro,
Top
Russell Crowe.
3.
Think he was born. I can't remember 1976. I think Dragon Year. Big
I'll look it up.
first Gladiator film came out in the year 2000.
2000, yep.
Bro, then they made the number two in 2024, Year of the Dragon. Linkin Park, lead singer Chester Bennington, born in the Year of the Dragon, and they reformed Linkin Park again in 2024, Year of the Dragon. Like the Tiger with Tom Cruise and Top Gun. What's this? Oh, 64. Yeah, I thought it
64.
was but he's still Dragon
Dragon.
Year though. Yeah,
Yeah,
man.
it is.
So this guy's fact checking me over here, but like Tiger. Tom Cruise is a tiger. First film came out 1986, I think, Year of the Tiger. Then they remade
That's
it
right.
2022, Year of the Tiger. Like there's so many patterns like this. I've noticed it. I've just observed, and there's so much. Yeah, it's real, bro. It's real. And Gary said as well, it's like you get your big break either at 24 or 23, 24 in your life, or 35, 36. Like when we all have. That's when we like make it. We have to kind of prepare ourselves for it. So we can
Because it's
match
back when you're in your own energy.
yeah, so you can utilize the energy. And Year of the Dragon, I've definitely noticed a lot of opportunities this year. A lot of people reaching out to me, getting me on podcasts, asking me to be on this or being on that, and it's like, wait, where did this come from? So it's pretty cool. It's definitely pretty cool.
Me too, brother. As a monkey myself.
As you, man,
Friend
yeah,
signs.
100%, man. Well, that's why we're here, right?
That's right.
Pretty cool. It's pretty cool, man. But yeah, sorry, I did cut you off. I don't know where you were in terms of Chinese
I was just
astrology.
talking about how it's used. Yeah. I mean, I talked about numerology being used by the elite. Well, so is Eastern astrology. I don't think they use Western too much. But yeah. JP Morgan told everybody if you want to be a billionaire, you need to get yourself an astrologer. And that's because, there's a lot of truth to this. So yeah, Eastern astrology, let's see. There's some more examples. It's used by Hollywood, like you said. It's used by um, the music industry. It's used. If you look at countries, this is where it's going to get trippy for a lot of people that don't really aren't familiar with the subject. So there's every sign has two friends and then one enemy. So for example, I'm a monkey, enemies with the tiger. I have two friends. I have the dragon and the rat. Now, energy applies to anything that is founded under these years. United States of America founded 1776 year of the monkey. Like I said, it's friends with the rat. Well, guess what? Israel born in the year of the rat. And the rat is a manipulative sign. So it basically utilizes the monkey's power for its own gain. And look at that relationship. And you'll see this very commonly anywhere you look in politics and countries and leaders. You'll notice all the time, like you'll see that California is in its enemy year right now. It's a dog. Look at LA, the most successful city, founded in the year of the dog as well. Or, a lot of other successful cities. And that's just the way it is because you thrive best within your own energy. Or look at, for example, New York City. New York is in a monkey country, the United States. It's one of the most successful cities, New York City. New York, monkey state. New York City, rat city. Or if you look at the top city right now in the entirety of the US, the most poppin' city is Miami, founded in the year of the monkey. A monkey city and a monkey country thriving.
Say no more, man. Say no more. So yeah, so the
So,
energy. So it's not just people. It's things are getting imprinted with energy.
right. So basically, in this matrix, since it's all energy, anytime you create something or introduce something new to your life, basically, it's imprinted with the energy present. So if something's created on a 33 day, it'll be more influential. I told you guys 28 is the number of wealth. Well, look at the dates that rappers always drop their albums. The 28th, almost every time, because they want to manifest wealth. Or like, there was only one pure 33 day this year. That was March 22nd. That was the only pure 33 day. And it was also on the 22nd, which is the master builder, but also the master destroyer. And notice how, what was it? Future dropped that album, We Don't Trust You. Metro Boomin and Kendrick Lamar. That album was basically used to what were they coming at? Drake. I'm on one of these fucking people that listens to this dog shit music. What are they coming at? They're coming at like Kendrick Lamar was coming at Drake, but basically Master Destroyer. And guess what? It's the number one album of the year on a pure 33 day, which is Influence. And they used that 22 energy. Master destroyed bitch ass Drake. So
Yeah, it's
it's
interesting.
used
And I remember
by the
that day,
top
like
of
I could
all
feel
fields.
the energy of that 33 day. Like it was a really intense day. It almost felt, I actually almost felt like I had no energy that day. Like I felt like it was like almost
What?
too much to handle.
Damn.
Is that normal?
I feel you. Yeah. I mean, people. Whenever there's heavy master energy present, people tend to struggle if they're not a master number. But I don't know. You can still tap in. I think even as a nine, if you're on the right frequency and doing the right
22
things, you can
days,
still tap in. But
22
it
days, I'm
might be
doing
a
pretty
lot
well.
to handle.
Like,
What'd
I
you
don't know,
say?
on a 22 day, I really feel energized. Like, if I go to the gym on a 22 day, it's like, I remember I trained one day on a 11 and 22 day, and I hit like my biggest PR ever. Like, and I was just like,
Yep.
it's insane. Like, I was like, what, where did that come from? So
The 11th of this month.
where you ask, what do you mean, sorry?
This month on the 11th was the 22/11 day.
Yeah, yeah, I think I noticed that one. I think I was in the gym that day, but that wasn't
I
the day I was.
was, bro. I fucking tore it up, dude. It was crazy.
Yeah, man, it's pretty crazy. But then the 7 days you want to watch out, right?
Injury.
Yeah.
That's the thing. This
I was
applies
gonna,
every day, bro.
yeah, yeah. I was gonna say, because again, I'm someone who likes to see proof of things. I don't just believe stuff, right? And talked about seven's injury, and I was like, is it really? And then I was watching just in like football in in English football, whatever. Jude Bellingham, the player, he went into a 7 year cycle, and there was like this news article saying, oh, he's got this really rare condition slash injury, and he's out for 6 months or whatever. And I was just like, what? Like that's crazy.
Yep.
It's like, whoa, this stuff is real. It happens. And my friend just went into a 7 year cycle and blew his back out. No homo. Do you know what I mean? Like he fully messed his back up in the gym, just gone into a 7 year cycle. And it's like, this is crazy. Like there really is something to it.
100%, my brother. You need to learn it so you can apply it because it literally applies every single day. We're podcasting today on a 3 day. Perfect energy to do so because people are more talkative. I wouldn't want to do this on a 7 day because that mouthpiece might degrade a bit. I might be just focused on thinking. Might be hard to talk.
You can definitely have some deep conversations though on a 7 day, that's for sure.
Very true. But, someone born on a 7 day, I might get sick of it very quick. I might just be like, shut up, let me think, bro.
Really
But
interesting.
it's funny. It's funny. It becomes physically difficult. So I have 7 energy, so I can talk about this from experience having the energy. It becomes physically difficult to talk. It's like it becomes like brother. Basically, when I'm under 7 energy, I just got out of a 7 year cycle on 7 days, things of that nature. I get on those days, I just feel literally like if I talk for 30 minutes, I'm so exhausted. It's like I just ran a marathon.
Really?
Yeah,
That's crazy.
basically.
That's crazy.
It's a trip.
Yeah, I guess that's just how it works though with a 7. That's what you got to kind of work on. It's what you kind of. We've all got our strengths and weaknesses though. It's like it's kind of cool because it's fair. Because like even like
Yeah.
something to touch on like master numbers, from my understanding, they always have trauma, like crazy trauma, like growing up. Like they always have some weird childhood or some weird crazy stuff happen. Something I've noticed.
Not always.
Oh, really? Why's that?
Well, I'd say trauma has to do with karma, but the people, like I'd say, like definitely master numbers. The matrix is harder on them, but I've known master numbers that actually just, I guess they just don't have karma. Like some of my close friends, 22s and things, and 30, even 33s, pure, and zero childhood trauma, come from like impeccable families. You'd be like, what the fuck? Actually, hold up. Okay. There's some things. I would say there's some things in every 22 and in every 33. They might come from a great family, but there's still some things they struggled with. But it's not always like super bad trauma. But there's definitely
Yeah,
always something I've
it's always
noticed. Yeah.
something weird, like oh, their
There's
parents were
something. There's definitely always something.
super strict and didn't let them, I don't know, do anything. Like, and they were like restricted their whole life. Something I've noticed with 22s, but or like their parents
Me too
divorced
with
or whatever.
22s and 33s.
Yeah, like
I've
my
noticed
some
that.
family relatives in 11, and they have they just had a lot of problems growing up. Like, but they're very kind of aware of it. in a weird way at the same time, you know? Like they say, like even when they were like a really young kid, they were like conscious, if that makes sense, which is quite interesting.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I have a funny example of that as a 33. Uh, Man, I got a funny video, a picture. But yeah, keep talking real quick.
But yeah, the 11 as well, because like the old soul kind of energy. Um, One thing you know about 11s is like people open up to them a lot. You know, I don't know exactly why, but they just you just around an 11, you just start telling them about your life. Like you just feel comfortable to just start sharing all this stuff and telling them these things, and they usually receive it pretty well. You know, they're never like, do you know what I mean? So it's interesting. I wonder why that what it is about the 11, or if that's all master numbers you tend to open up to. I don't know.
Yeah, I'd say it's most master numbers, and it can depend on other energies too, because you got to look at the life path in the day. Like if someone's a 33, born on like a 3 day or a 6 day, they're not gonna be as deep and intelligent and spiritual as someone born on a 7 day or an 11 day or something like that. Um, but yeah, yeah, 33s just tend to be very, very aware and very different than the people around them. And I want to show you guys a funny ass picture of as a kid. So right, so this is my class. Hold up. One of my friends just sent me. She just sent me a picture of like our childhood. So like, here's all the kids, smiling. Second grade. Everybody's smiling, and then shit. Is it this way? Fuck. Hold up. Give me a second. Doing this
No,
backwards. Okay. Everybody's smiling and shit, having a good time. And then look at this fucking motherfucker. Yo, is it focusing?
it's kind of lagging, but it will it will render at the end, but I
Right.
can't really see it.
Everyone's smiling. And look at this. Look at this dude right here.
You're just on demon
Look at
mode.
this smug look. I'm
It's
like,
like he knew
I don't
some,
want
it's
you.
like he knew something.
Yeah, but that's just trying to paint a picture of like when you when you see like a 33 or a 22 or like, yeah, a lot of times they just tend to be very different than the people around them, because if you've incarnated more times and you have like just more inherent wisdom, then you tend to stand out from the crowd and you tend to not buy into bullshit. Like I was telling you guys earlier, most of the 33s I know that like our women tend to even still have their virginity or just lost it at a late age, or yeah, they just tend to understand the value of sexual energy and even fear it. Like, I don't want to lose it. I'm afraid to do the devil's tango. That's what they call it. But yeah, so that's definitely something you'll notice.
100%, man. No, it's all very fascinating. And but yeah, but was there anything else on the numerology side of things you kind of wanted to share, or you had kind of written down or
Sure, I'll
anything?
share one last thing briefly.
Sure.
One thing you can look at is names. So, if you look at my name, Gray, starts with G. G is the seventh letter. A lot of times, your name will line up with your numerological energy. But even if it doesn't, it has energy alone within itself, because if you're like gray, 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 everybody says gray to me. So, Starbucks writes gray on my coffee cup if I was a fucking soy boy drinking that shit. But, it's always manifested, because anytime you say something, you put something out there, it's manifested, right? And so you got to look at how the words are coded. Well, the alphabet is coded by numbers. A is the first letter. That's why it has male energy. Alpha. B is the second letter, female energy. Beta. Three is the child. Three is C. C is the child. Four, D. D is discipline, right? Anyways, I could go on for a while. But yeah, so one example I'll give of a name lining up to somebody that probably everyone here would know would be Robert Kiyosaki. So I'm sure everyone out here who's a hustler, who's uh, into business and things of that nature, know the book Rich Dad Poor Dad. That was written by Robert Kiyosaki. Robert Kiyosaki is a 33 life path. And guess what? His name, Robert, RO, equals 33 in ordinal because R is the 18th letter, O is the 15th. R plus, or 18 plus 15 equals 33. Elite use this. Look at Rothschild, Rockefeller, royalty, Rome. They've been using this for a very long time. And if you add it up and reduced, Robert, so like if you add up all the letters but in the reduced form, so like R would be 9 because 1 plus 8 is 9, etc., that also equals 33. Like I said, he's a 33 life path. And guess how Robert influenced?
Yes.
Robert influenced financially, and he's born on an 8 day. 8 is the number of money. So 33 influenced financially.
Yeah, that's crazy. And do you think that that's because somehow because like for example, like with the for like an 11 life path, you can ask them like what's your favorite, or you'll say, oh, you're an 11. They're like, oh shit, 11's my favorite number. It's like, what? It's like they almost have this weird coding. Do you think that's similar with, somehow, some way when he was born, the parents just, because of the, I don't know, there's some subconscious energy going on that they just decided to name him that, and it all just kind of lined up in like a,
Yeah, it
it's kind
has
of
to
like
do with the
branded
frequency.
by the Matrix, or it's home. I don't know. It's like
Mm-hmm.
the Matrix is leaving its little Easter egg kind of thing.
Yeah, I think for sure. And it's
I
like
think it's
has to do with karma. It's actually a pretty advanced system because like if your name's energy is actually like counter, not counterintuitive, counteracts your energy, it's actually like negative for you because there's enemy numbers. A lot of people don't know that. You got to be in GG33 to know that enemy numbers within your name could mean bad karma.
oh,
So
okay.
there's actually a lot to it. And yeah, so I think it has to do with frequencies. And I don't think everything's predetermined, but I think it just has to do with vibrational frequencies. Like before I knew anything about this, I created 3 names for my businesses, and they all happen to add up to 28.
Okay.
And, it's just the frequency you're on. Or my friend asked me for a name that he wanted to be influential, and I was like, try this. And then we put it in the letterology calculator, happens to add up to 33. I'm like, oh, that's trippy. Well, try this instead. Because I was like, this sounds a little bit better. Try this. Once again, 33. So I think it's frequencies.
Hmm.
And that
Yeah.
just goes to show that things really are tracked by numbers, the frequency.
100%, man. No, it's so fascinating, and I hope that, even though we did kind of maybe go a little bit too advanced here and there, but even the average listener's like somewhat intrigued or interested, or asking questions or whatever. But yeah, no, thank you for sharing that knowledge of us. You've given us a lot of value there, lots of different points to be kind of digested and broken down. And yeah, I think we should do a part two. I think we should definitely dive a bit deeper, and we can talk about, because I know you know a lot about health and things of that nature as well. So we can dive into that, really unpack all of those things. But brother, it's been a pleasure, man. Pleasure having you on. Was there any kind of final thoughts you wanted to share with the audience at all?
Thanks for having me on, G. It's been a great podcast. And yeah,
Anytime.
thoughts for the audience. I want you guys to take this and apply it. So, like, it's your birthday, your sisters, your mothers, your brothers, and then you'll start to see things really fall into place. And that's it.
100%. 100%, man. Well, I'm gonna put all of Gray's links in the description below. So if you want to give him a follow, I post a lot of high quality content on TikTok,
Thank you,
on
G.
X, and YouTube. So definitely go check him out if you want to learn some more.
Yeah.
And
Gray
yeah,
McDowell, all platforms. So GreyMcDowell on pretty much everything. On X, it's McDowell Gray. So other way around, but yeah.
there you go. But that will be in the description. And yeah, been a pleasure, bro. And yeah, man, I'm looking forward to the part two.
Me too, brother. Thanks for having me on, G.
No worries. Thanks
Have a
everyone
great
for
day.
watching. See you in the next one.